Hello, OTLBC members and community. It's Jenny Mitchell here, your current chair of the Board of Directors of the OTLBC. I'm going to do a very short, brief video synopsis of some of the events that took place at our AGM this past weekend, May 26th, so that everybody can be informed and have information about the important and very exciting projects that are coming up at the OTLBC in the next couple of years. We had 65 people in attendance at the AGM, which met our quorum of 51, 10% of our 514 voting members. We conducted our business of our AGM, approving minutes, reviewing the agenda, and of course approving our financials. There were two outstanding items from the AGM or from some of the special general meetings that we'd had in the past. One was around our status as a not-for-profit. I'm very pleased to report that we are now officially a not-for-profit incorporated under the Canada Not-for-Profit Corporations Act. We have a new corporations number and we will continue to operate as a not-for-profit under the federal legislation. So that's a wonderful tick box. It's a huge milestone in our club's history and marks a really exciting future as well. The second item from one of our outstanding items from our special general meeting in November was the idea of a land covenant being placed on the club, or specifically the club's land. After much consideration at the board level, we decided to not pursue that idea, mostly because it really limits our ability to borrow money and affects our ability to continue to grow the OTLBC. I just wanted to share something that Ross Eamon has been writing articles. He's doing vignettes of each of the 10 years of the club's history, and he did the 1920 to 1929 year history, and it was posted in the Oscar magazine. And Ted Latham reached out to me and shared with me this beautiful little trophy that was his mother's trophy, and it says on the bottom, "Returned to the OTLBC in 2018 by the Latham family in memory of Alita Leila Latham, née Miss A. Watts and Miss E. Crawley." This trophy is from 1923. It was one of the first tournaments played on our club, or on our courts, and outside of our clubhouse, when the clubhouse was built in 1923. In 2023, we will be 100 years old, and we will be planning for that in the next couple of years. You're going to be hearing more about that, and we talked at length about that at our AGM on the weekend. Obviously, fitting into the clubhouse and the restoration plans and our courts and the maintenance of all of our capital infrastructure, we've been hearing over the years that we have an infrastructure deficit. Our treasurer, Josh Engel, presented the club's financials. The Coles Notes message of that is we're in good financial stead. We have a surplus of about $70,000 every year. However, that $70,000 disappears very quickly when you have to repair the roof over the veranda, when you're repairing hydro, when you have to do drainage on the side of the courts. You've seen the work there, and many other things, including plumbing that bursts when our building goes into the winter phase when it's not heated. So short term, we're fine, but long term, we've discussed this in advance that the infrastructure of our club needs some serious work. And Josh also mentioned that our tennis revenues do not break even. In other words, our tennis memberships are subsidized from our camps, from our special events, and many other revenues that our club, and of course volleyball, all of our activities that we do that supplement. It's our board's position to get that to a net zero sooner than later. And with respect to the budget and the capital infrastructure, we're not going to solve these problems, and we discussed them at length at the AGM, but there's part of a bigger planning process. But in essence, there is about $3 million in the short term that's required for capital infrastructure. The board's proposed approach is a third, a third, a third. So $1 million from the membership, maybe as a capital assessment, $1 million from fundraising and activities as such, grant writing and etc., and $1 million from a loan from a bank. So this is the working project that we're doing, where you will hear lots more about this, and we will be going to the membership with many conversations about this. Bottom line is that for this club to continue, we need our membership to step up and discuss how we want to invest in this place so that it'll be here for another 100 years, and so that we can be giving out another trophy, or virtual trophy, I guess it would be, in 2123. Also tied into this is the idea of strategic planning. As your board, it's our job to present a vision and a mission for how this club is going to move forward. We're busy working on that. We've held our preliminary sessions already. You, as our membership, will have a chance to weigh in on that as well. Please look for a clubhouse restoration information session coming up very soon as well. More to report on that soon. I wanted to give you a quick update on membership numbers. We set ourselves in our budget 2 goals. So one was status quo membership. If we have exactly the same number of members as last year, what does our budget look like? And then if we set ourselves some ambitious revenue targets and we're able to hit those, what kind of surpluses will we have and what would that enable us to do? I'm really proud to report that based on our numbers from before, we are at 49% of our ambitious targets, which is actually quite fantastic. And those numbers are from May 15th, and we're now at the end of May. The ambitious targets, if you take those numbers and think of it from where we were at last year with our last numbers, we're actually at 58%. So we gave ourselves a strong target around membership, and we've been successful on that. So more to be updating you on membership. It looks strong. And one thing we notice is there's a lot more focus on families and intermediate adults coming in, which is very exciting for the future of the club. And lastly, but not leastly, I certainly wanted to highlight our new board of directors. We are really excited to have a fantastic group. I will just say them very quickly. Our group is myself stepping in as president of the board. My vice president is Gary Catlin. Our treasurer is Josh Engel. Our fearless secretary is Susan Youngblood. We have directors at large that are returning, which include Peter McKinnon, Enzo Di Chiara on Buildings and Grounds, as well as Marianne Arrange joining us for Nominations and Governance, one of our new board members, and Andrew Bradley will be returning this year. He also helps on Buildings and Grounds, and Mutana Subaya, another new member joining us to fill out the complement of 9 board members. We're also very pleased to have Gary Hawkes joining us ex officio as the representative of the member committee, and as a representative of the member committee, he joins us at all board meetings where we discuss board business and board activities. Last but not least, I wanted to highlight my personal commitment to fundraising and to this club. I'm very proud to report at the AGM that my husband and I have decided to remember the OTLBC in our will. We have worked with our lawyer to add a codicil and are delighted to be part of the legacy community at the OTLBC. I would be delighted to talk to you about how you would like to make your gift to the OTLBC or what you would like to do. I think the main message from our AGM is we have the opportunity to be the stewards of this club going forward. What an exciting time for us to be at. And I think the question is, how do we want to show up and how do we want to participate? That is the Coles Notes. Let's see, 7 minutes, not bad. If you have any questions, if you'd like to follow up with your board of directors, remember we are there, we are elected by you. Our reporting period is our May AGM, a place to ask questions, and Gary Hawkes also holds an open house for the member committee in September. Those are 2 fantastic touch points for us to seek feedback from you guys. You can always catch us at the club as well. Please don't catch us in the middle of a tennis game. That would be my only request, or in the middle of a glass of wine. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate your support and energy and enthusiasm for our beloved cottage in the city.